All right, perfect.
Hello everyone, this is Aisha Makara and the artist voice. Today I have amazing RNU. He's a
Wow.
real estate you're in the real estate, you're in the live ultimate, you're spiritual awakening. You have your own podcast, Spiritual Awakening, where you're talking about spirituality and different life experiences and soul journey and all the things. I'm super excited to have you here today.
Thank you, Aisha. I was so happy to see you on because I'm not really on social media that much. So, and then I want to go on it, and then you're like, "Oh, you want to do this thing?" I'm like, "Sure, let's do it." Heck yeah,
It's beautiful.
yeah, yeah. It is beautiful. I was just sharing with you, like, so Ali and I, we've been since July 1st. We left Miami after 18 years. I was living on the beach for 13 years, right on 76 and Collins. You guys are aware of Miami, and Corona hit, and I said, you know what? I was starting to feel like a prisoner in my own home. And I was living in a condo, 2 bedroom, and I said, let's get this 33-foot trailer, let's get the motorcycles, let's give away all of our stuff that we really don't need, and let's go look for land. And
That's super
so now
cool.
we're on the lookout, and so I'm meeting people along the way. A person that was camped out next to us the other day, they invited us over to dinner. They built earth homes. I don't know if you know what earth homes are, where they
Yeah.
literally take the ground and it's all completely self-sustainable. They do. She went to this earth home school, and they do aquaponics. So they take fish, and then the fish feed the garden feeds the fish, and then everything is self-sustainable. So, and then I was checking out 1,100 acres outside of the Four Corners, where they want to build maybe 75 to 100 of these earth homes and have 4 naturopathic doctors there, and be
Wow,
able to
it's
live self-sustainable, completely off grid.
that's beautiful. That means we can invest in that kind of things, right? We can actually help people to grow and actually create their dream or make the dream to the reality, into reality.
Yeah, I mean, I believe in the new earth is being born, and there's a detoxification process that's happening. There's a purging process. People are awakening, I think, now more than ever, quicker and faster. They're becoming aware of things that maybe their whole life they were unaware of. And at some point, I believe money is going to become obsolete, and we're going to be groups of people taking care of each other, supporting each other. And my dream is really for everyone to be fully self-expressed and living, their purpose. And that's Ali doing stuff behind me, and really just, bringing forth their gifts of, I believe each one of us has a gift to give and to share. And so I'm so grateful that you're doing and creating this. I guess this is like a Zoom podcast, right?
Yeah,
So yeah,
I just created like a few
this is
weeks
great.
ago.
All right, cool.
I'm just
So
really, it was so funny. Yeah. I,
yeah,
do-
and you're
I do exactly the same. I have exactly the same beliefs like you have. I believe like we have a gift and we come here to give this gift to the humanity and heal. We all can heal. First, we get to heal ourselves, and our next step is heal like the people, earth, and all like living beings with love. Heal with love.
well,
Love with
yeah.
love.
I've learned if I am not loving myself, it's hard for me to go and turn around and love someone else. And I think that that's a lot of reason why there's a lot of people projecting their pain onto other people, and maybe they were
Exactly.
hurt before previously. And so there's nothing I could do to save that person, but maybe there's something we can do to help wake them up and inspire them to take responsibility for their own lives, so then they could go on their own self-healing journey. And I believe there's a lot of people that are doing that now. I mean, I think now more so than ever, Corona is waking us up that what's really important. What is it that I really want to focus on, and what do I want to bring forth to this world? And if it was going to end tomorrow, what would I be doing today? So
Yeah, I
hence the
think
reason why
exactly the
we,
same.
yeah, I mean, that's why we're literally living in the unknown and on the road. And we just booked another 10 days here, and we're just trusting the universe, but at the same time setting intentions writing our goals, Ali and I, you know, co-creating together, co-creating with the team, you know, focusing, you know, supporting people and building their dreams and their lives, and building confidence to overcome their fears and their worries. And, you know, all of us are, I think, for the most part, wanting to go for it, hopefully, and really bring forth what it is that we feel called to do. You
Yeah.
know, it's not easy. It's not like, you know, it's not like all of a sudden you wake up one day and everything just like magically appears. It takes work.
It
It takes
is.
work to do this stuff. And but I mean, at the end of the day, it's like you're worth it, we're worth it, I'm worth it, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean,
That's
you have quite a story, right, Aisha? You've come from a long, crazy past, but now here we are talking about, you know, our visions and what we're doing to you know, take steps to move things forward.
yeah. That's true. I mean, like life is a journey. We get just like accepted that it is a journey, and we choose which journey we want to take. Do we want to take like the normal road that everyone takes, or like the different one that we want to actually live for ourselves, and just experience how it is to live our own like path or create our own path. I don't know.
Yeah. Yes. I mean,
We don't
you
know.
know,
We still don't know so many things.
well, we don't know. All we know is, I guess, what we really know is what's right in front of us, and even that can sometimes be can be deceiving. You know, our thoughts can be very confusing, but you know, I think that we're really, I think my perception is that we've created this reality, and we can, once we take responsibility for what it is that, how I'm generating my reality in this reality, we can shift the reality into what we really want.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's easier said than done, but in my mind, we've already won the game. Now we just got to play our part.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? We just got to play our part.
That's so
And
true.
yeah, and so now it's like, that's the fun of it. It's like once we start to realize, like, okay, it's all by perfect design. Like, why not? Then let's just do what we, let's set our intentions and not be attached to how we get there.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, yeah.
That's true. So what inspires you? What's your like inspiration? What like why are you doing what you're doing with love and so much passion and compassion?
Well, you know what really inspires me, and this is why probably we're on the road, is nature. You know, being in nature, um, being connected to, you know, I hear the birds chirping right now, and like, and you know, we're sitting on this. I'm looking at a lake, Lake Mead, right outside of Las Vegas, and you know, we're spending time with Allie's grandparents. We just spent some time with my mom and my nieces. Um, what inspires me is really, you know, the relationships that we have and the new ones that are being developed, and nurturing, you know, the things, and really, you know, working towards, like, my sister is a relationship that, you know, from my past, I had, you know, my addictions and everything, you know, all my pain and all the things that I would mask myself from my past trauma. And there's certain relationships that I get to like also work on and heal and nurture.
Mhm.
And so what really inspires me is actually having those relationships transform.
Yeah.
Like I mean, and then it's the simple things, like I was telling you just before, you know, our solar power wasn't working. It was like showing nighttime and it's like full sun. And then all of a sudden, you know, figuring out, like, you know, having our neighbor kind of, you know, hang out and show us, and then going and solving that problem. And all of a sudden today it's like working and then everything's great. Like, so like the little things too inspire me. So it's
That's
like
beautiful.
it doesn't, to me, it's like, it's all part of the game.
Yeah.
Like we can have an awakening in the most kind of mundane moment
That's
of,
true.
yeah. And like Simon inspires me, you know, like life inspires me. Watching people go for it inspires me. Going for it myself inspires, I guess, me. You know, watching Allie evolve and transform and grow inspires me. I think for me the key is if everything if I could choose for anything and everything to inspire me, then all of a sudden I'm inspired. I don't have to wait to be inspired, right? Even like the mastering the mundane. I've just did, Michael DeSantis, Find Your Tribe, men's group. We did 12 weeks, and it's really, you know, we talk about like everything is just chopping wood, carrying water, and then you become enlightened, chopping wood, carrying water. Everything is just a practice, and the
Yeah.
practices build the foundation in order for us to be able to handle whatever comes our way. So it doesn't matter if I'm sitting in a storm of chaos and craziness. As long as I've done my practices and my work, that's when you're ready for the game, right? Like the greatest athletes and the people out there that are,
Yeah.
they've trained, and then what are they training for? That one moment for when they're in the game. And then maybe they don't always win, but as long as they're winning within their cell and themselves is like who they become in the process of that practice, they've already won.
Yeah.
Right. And then the game just becomes just kind of like a side note.
Yeah. I
But
agree.
yeah, sitting
What
with
in
Simon is inspiring me right now. And being
what
with
in
you is inspiring. Yeah, go ahead.
what impact do you want to create?
Oh, wow. I mean, the impact, honestly, my purpose is to support the planet and waking up to itself and to have everyone live a purpose-driven life. So for me, this is what heaven looks like to me, where everyone's taking complete, full responsibility of themselves. So it's like
Exactly.
it's not like the darkness and all that stuff is like a part of evolution. The challenge is what evolves us. So for me, ideally, it would be just like if something tags me, it's like immediately I take full responsibility. It's not like that person's doing it to me.
Mm.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like to me, it'd be like everyone just present and in the moment. And so what I want to contribute is just a little piece of a part of that. So right now I'm working on creating a recovery to serve the recovery community because I've, come from that space. I've been sober now. What day is today? Oh my gosh. So I
Today's
just
20th.
celebrated the 20th. So on the 15th, I just celebrated 23 months of complete sobriety. And now
Wow.
for me, I'm
Congratulations.
45 and I've been, that for me, that's a big deal.
It
And
is.
I've always wanted to support and serve the recovery community, but I could never be clear in that space long enough to really do so. But with Millie, she's a part 2 trainer for Gratitude. She's been in the recovery world for 17 years. I'm partnering with her and this other woman, Tori. She's been working as a coach, and we're going to come and we're creating right now a space for supporting people wherever they're at. We're not necessarily going to be the type of people that are trying to get people sober, but like giving people an outlet to go to the next level of their lives, whatever that looks like for them.
Mhm.
And right now opiate use is probably, I think, is the number one reason why people are dying in the United States. So there's
Yeah.
millions of people suffering out there, and I believe that they don't need to suffer
Yeah.
uh, if they
Of the
just are
pain. And
tools.
they
But the
like, yeah.
and the coronavirus is like, isolating people, so people are feeling lonely. I mean, I've lost a couple of friends just because I think they're just like people are old people are not dying of the corona, they're dying of loneliness. They're dying because they don't feel connected. And I believe everything that's happening right now is designed by us to like wake us up, but in the meantime we get to like go out there and serve.
Yeah.
And how do we serve? And you creating this space is a great place to start. And so anyone listening, what can I do to help contribute to my own healing and also the healing of like whatever that looks like. And if it's super
Yeah.
simple, then all of a sudden it makes it so much more effective. Now you can actually have it happen. It doesn't have to be like this, like we look at these big dreams and like, oh my God, and it looks like it's so far away. It's like, no, like what can I do today to take a
Yeah.
simple step forward?
Do you have a dream?
Well, yeah, my dream is for everyone to experience the infinite love of who they are and to, appreciate this heaven on earth that's right here, right now. I mean, it's already here. We're just got to like shift within ourselves the consciousness that of our own awareness. And then all of a sudden I realize it's all within me.
That's so cool.
No.
You know, I got my DNA test today,
Yeah. What did you
and
find?
I found that I'm almost 50% Mongolian. But I actually knew it. I mean, I didn't know for sure, but I kind of like guess it. And 23% I'm a British Irish, and the rest is
Mm.
like different East Europe, Finland, Siberia, Siberia, and the other like a lot of like East European and Chechnya, or like you know, that area as well. Where's it right now? Like Russia, but like a little bit on the side of Georgia, that part.
Yeah. Did you do like a 23andMe?
I did living DNA.
Okay. I did 23andMe a number of years ago, and I found it was interesting because I thought I was half Korean. And so I was like 30% Korean. It showed also I was like a little bit, I think like 20% Japanese and the rest like Chinese. And then I also
Oh,
saw that I was like British, Irish, a little Native American, um, Scandinavian, Czechoslovakian. I mean, it's interesting, but I
yeah,
believe
it's
that we
very.
are all of it.
I just like was so surprised. It was like, okay, well, it's cool to know. I mean, I'm
It's
from
cool. It's
East Europe,
fun.
and Asia and Central Asia, and a little bit of Russia,
Mm.
Mongolia. You know, like Great Britain, and Ireland. I was like, okay, wow, it's a lot actually from that. It's fun. It's fun to know a
Yeah, I'm
little
a
bit.
mutt. I'm a mutt of all different types of ethnicities.
Exactly. I was like, nice to know. What how do you see yourself like next 5 years? Do you have like 5 years plan? Do you have like a future self, or you just live like by moment?
Yeah, we did an exercise in our Find Your Tribe where we would write things out 5 years. And so it's like you write a 5 year plan, a 3 year plan, was it 3 or 2 year plan, then a 1 year plan. Then you could have a 6 month plan, then you have a 90-day plan, then a 1 month plan, a weekly plan, and then your daily
Yeah.
plan, right? So my 5 year plan is really to have a place where, what I was speaking into earlier of complete self sustainability, whether it's with these earth homes and we're building these earth homes and we have, everything is available, you know, like money, I believe, money is made up. It's an energy exchange, but I believe that we're going to be entering into a new place of like everything is like we can live fully off the sun and the resources that are right here. Like we are abundant. Everything is, it's not even like I got to go out and be abundant or get abundance. It's like I am abundant,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so I believe us as human beings, we have the amazing capacity and technology and resources to already come together and support and serve one another. And now it's just building the community.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's interesting because, like, we had our neighbors invite us over to dinner last night. The woman that's, studied earth homes, and she's got some architects, and, now all the puzzle pieces are coming together. So I believe in 5 years that will have been established. This land that this person is making they're already making an offer and negotiating it. And this guy is already, he runs 3 CBD farms, and I'm going and it feels like I'm connecting with farmers and different types, people from all walks of life that have a vast amount of knowledge and awareness. And so now it's just a matter of just finding the people that you connect with and want to continue to grow with.
Exactly.
And so in 5 years, I feel that will have been established. Like it will already be, we'll be building it, it'll be created, we'll find the land, we'll find the resources, we'll have our water, our sun, and everything will be in the process and being processed. And so, yeah, so that's why
Okay.
I feel right now is a great time to prepare.
Yeah.
What's
I'm with
next?
you. I'm with you. I'm going to volunteer for that project. I
You're
love
gonna
it.
what's that?
I'm with you in that project. Send me information.
Yeah, no, I'm going to be talking. I'm eventually speaking to the investors and talking because I think they want to create like 75 to 100 homes, but like very mindfully and consciously, and so it's interesting when we set these intentions and all of a sudden what comes back into our space.
Yeah, I'm right now, like, do you know couch surfing?
Yes.
So my friend building the different, it's called like trust routes. It's kind of similar to the couch surfing, but where like travelers staying with each other, but like based on the interest or based on hobby, and like you find the people like you kind of want to connect with and build the friendships, like or like life friendships. And
That's cool.
yeah, so I'm a part of that project, and actually I was thinking about like place, so like retirement like platform, or like kind of like a subscription base that people who is actually connected with each other can create uh like a fund somehow where they want to like buy the land or like something that they think it's right, or like maybe like create a community in different countries around the world, like a sustainable community
Well, a
where
lot of people are
people.
doing it. Yeah, there's certain like philosophers and leaders, and there people are doing it.
Yeah,
And all right, it's happening.
yeah,
Like
yeah, it's
now, it's just a
amazing.
matter of connecting. I believe it's also going to come to like people are going to be able to travel and support each other and in these
Hmm.
different communities.
Yeah,
Be able to.
thank you to
Yeah,
Burning Man. Bring
I
us
mean,
different ideas.
Burning Man. I saw we met some people in Sedona that went to Burning Man this year. And she said it was amazing because it was like the old school Burning Man where, they couldn't charge for tickets, and it was a much smaller burn. It was like 10,000 people versus like whatever, 60, 70,000 people. And you could drive on the playa. Like you could, like, it was like a complete, like free, it was a much more free um, space where people could
Wow.
really do the things. And she said it was amazing, and you could just roll up on the playa. You didn't have to like pay money to be out there. You just kind of people were just out there
That's
doing their thing.
beautiful.
So
That's
it's
beautiful.
beautiful. So, I mean, Burning Man is a great example of what we can create,
Yeah,
with our imaginations. And if we take the higher frequency and vibrations of Burning Man and start to really, apply those to other areas of our lives, who knows what we can create.
yeah.
Yeah.
I also believe in that. But it's like a process. Again, it's a process. As with anything else, it's a process. Do you have any advice to the people like who just starting their career, art career, or like whatever career they started, like just in the beginning of their path, and they know what to choose, a way to go?
Well, I mean, you know, I the only thing I've realized for myself is I really have no idea what other people are supposed to do for them. Like they are the wisest person they know. And what I've learned for myself is creating structure, especially if I'm an artist or I'm practicing art, create discipline and structure where you're doing that art in that time space. So constantly cultivating our craft, so whether it's speaking or writing or drawing or painting or singing or dancing, having a structure of like, okay, I'm going to block out this time to create and to access that creativity. And maybe sometimes it's an hour and maybe nothing's going on, but at least maybe you're meditating with it or you're developing it. And I think that's one of the more challenging things to do is to draw that feminine creative energy and marry it with like the structure of what's happening. There's a great book that we are doing in Live Ultimate. It's called The Manifestation Wheel by Alan Seal. It was recommended to me by Millie, the trainer that we're doing this recovery course with.
Manifestation wheel.
Manifestation wheel. Yes, it's an old Native American way of how these guys would manifest into this 3D world. So the idea is, this is this reality, right? And then there's the universal infinite, whatever you want to call it, 5D of infinite possibilities. Everything's potentiality.
Yeah.
And then, so we did an exercise. I'm going through the different so the first is intention. Why am I doing this? What is my purpose? Like, what is really, why am I doing this, right? And the second one is peace. And inner peace is really about,
Trust.
um, well, it's working through the resistance, the doubts, the fears, the anxieties, whatever is coming, and trusting our intuition that's going to call forth our highest good. And so our soul is like that infinite space of like our highest good. And then we have the ego. And so many of us like judge the ego or think we need to get rid of the ego, or actually like,
Even our
um,
friends. I feel
well, the
like
ego
ego
is
is
really,
like,
it's there to support and to help us to survive. And it's actually grounding in this reality. So if we marry, so we did an exercise, we did a meditation where we married the ego and the soul. So then once the ego feels nurtured and supported, now all of a sudden it can ground ourselves in this reality and actually create structure around what it is that we want to create. So many people, it's like, if I'm super spiritual, right? It's like, oh, I don't need an ego. I don't have an ego. But then it's like, maybe they're like not financially sound. And then there's like the spiritual bypass, right? So if I'm learning, if I could just create the structure within my own kind of like that whole, like, woo, I'm infinite and loving, but like also like ground myself in this reality. Now all of a sudden I can manifest much quicker. And then I believe as human beings, we all have strengths. We all have things that we, are very practiced and good at. And like my strengths might actually support someone else that maybe not be as strong in that area, but now without together, we can support each other in creating and manifesting. And so we do in Live Ultimate, we that's what we're focused on. What's most important to you? What are your dreams? What do you want to create? How does this become a vehicle to support you in generating the life that you love?
yeah,
Like, it's
amazing
not
life.
just about pushing products or just selling. It's about like, why am I doing this? Like, what is my
Mhm.
purpose? And how does this, and what I've realized is, connecting with human beings and generating authentic connection of just being in service is priceless. That's the worst case scenario. You're nurturing a relationship when you're
Yeah,
just asking people, hey, how you doing during this time? How can I support you? What's going on? Like, people
yeah.
are missing that, like not having an agenda,
Hmm.
right? Not feeling like I need to get something from you. And this is what I think turns people off to sales and all this other stuff that's going on. It's like, oh, if
Yeah,
I have an expectation, if I let go of the expectation, you feel it.
yeah,
If I really genuinely care about you, now all of a sudden we are in alignment. It's like, how can I help you? How can you help me? How can we help each other? And let's support each other in whatever, and not feel like I need to get something from you.
exactly.
Anyway,
I
these
totally
are
agree. It's about like expectations and don't have expectations, because like you can have expectation is still there, but you don't need to like push it, or like kind of
well,
like, I don't know how to explain it, but like they
well,
happening in the happening natural way in the right time, in the right moment. All the things, or all the puzzle will come together when it's the right moment for that. You get to be patient and peaceful inside. We get to be peaceful and patient inside to to you know just put intention, or like believe or trust that it's going to happen,
there's like,
or it's
once
happening.
I have an expectation, and then we're human beings, so there's a natural sense of having an expectation in relationships, for myself, all these things, right? But as soon as an expectation doesn't happen, then I become disappointed. And once I become disappointed, then all of a sudden I could start creating judgment about myself or somebody else. And if I don't clearly communicate, then there's a crucial point where it's like I can choose to communicate and process. A lot of times we distract or do other coping mechanisms to help ourselves, make ourselves feel better about something that's happened, and we're not actually processing the thing that's happened. And
Mhm.
so then we all of a sudden just, bypass to the point, then all of a sudden we wonder why we're so angry. Then we build up
Exactly.
resentment. So the key is to, in the moment, to do your best to be aware of what's happening. So then notice I have an expectation. Hey, I'm disappointed here. This is how I feel. And then take ownership. I can take ownership of it. And usually it's based on some sort of past trauma or experience that happened to me when I was maybe a little kid or with my parents. If I start to really look and become aware, then all of a sudden that expectation doesn't have me.
Yeah.
People are expecting so many things of other things outside of themselves that they have no control over, all of a sudden that becomes a distraction. You know, I'm expecting this person to win the presidency. I'm expecting this person. Even I used to judge my mom for being judgmental, and now I'm just creating more judgment. Right? Like I'm literally generating the thing that I'm resisting, instead of just accepting and loving and realizing maybe she's come where, because maybe she's programmed from her past. Like this is how karma works, right? We get passed on, we get inherit our things from our parents, but we have the option to choose and to evolve from it.
Yeah.
We don't have to be enslaved by it. And this is how we overcome our past, and this is how we evolve.
Yeah.
Because we can choose to neurologically reprogram ourselves when we make other choices, not based on what has happened. The good things, let's keep those things.
Yeah.
Right? Like let's honor and love our parents for what they did give us. They gave us life. They brought us to this planet. And then some people, we don't even know our parents, right? So, you know, just being blessed and grateful.
And still be grateful. Still be grateful.
Yeah. I mean, once you stand in that place of just total surrender and loving acceptance of ourselves and everything that's happening, I mean, that's the work.
Yeah.
You know, Byron Katie talks about the work, you know, judge your neighbor worksheets. It's not about them. It's literally, it's my own judgments about myself, and the judgment hurts me.
Yeah.
Like the other person doesn't even know maybe that I'm even judging them, but I'm literally generating negativity and anger and resentment against them, which really it's coming from me, and I'm the one that's generating it, and I'm the one that's suffering. If I look at it like, hey, how does that reflect against me? Where is that coming from? Where is that judgment really saying? And that's actually calling forth and showing me what wants to be healed. So it's like I can't run from myself. Even if I'm living in a trailer, I could be out in the middle of the woods boondocking somewhere, and something could totally frustrate me. Where it's coming, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's part of that's actually, if we could embrace that challenge as a part of our own evolutionary process and growth, that's where the magic happens.
Yeah. We create magic.
Yeah, the magic is around us. I mean, it's so funny. My mom was like, when I just saw her, because she's very into the Bible, and she's like, you call yourself a wizard. What does that mean? Allie, is she a witch? Like, what does that mean? Like, and I'm like, oh boy, here we go. I'm like, Mom, it means whatever you want it to mean. Just because I say I'm a wizard doesn't mean that I'm like casting. We all cast spells with our words, with ourselves and each other. Right? So what spells do I want to cast? What do I want to create? What do I want to generate from my thoughts and what I'm saying and my actions, all that stuff. So
Thank you, Aaron. It was amazing.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it was a great conversation. I learned so many good things from you right now. You're so wise.
Well,
they're all about practice and patience, and practice again and patience.
You know, I think I've gone through a lot of pain, and I'm still working through my things. So I think with that comes experience. And as long as we're choosing to learn from it, that's when we become wise within ourselves.
Yeah.
So you asked me about the artist, like if I had advice, the only advice I would have for someone is to really trust themselves and to look at themselves and ask themselves powerful questions. What is this moment showing me? Mm-hmm. What is this telling me about myself, and where do I get to learn? Because once I get clear about who I am as a human being, everything else starts to just fall into place.
Yeah.
So
you have to be clarity. It's all about clarity and be specific. Put like specific, and this is why we're putting like intentions of the day, intention of the week, intention of the months. You know, like we focusing on something that we want to learn about the word, maybe about the action that words create, and we're working and we observe ourselves at the same time, and we see our progress by us accepting or like receiving the word we say to ourselves.
Well, it's
or like intentions we share with ourselves.
Well, that's why it's so powerful to have like-minded people to be able to hold each other accountable and support each other on this path. You know, we don't have to be alone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's true.
So I do have a little advice. Get a Simon.
I'm going to get a dog as well.
Get a Simon, but that's your choice. I mean, some people are not dog people, but oh my God, infinite joy. Ali and
For
I,
sure.
the biggest fights that we used to have was like, who does Simon love more? Like, and it's so silly because there's more than enough love to give, right, Simon? Yeah. So, Aisha, thank you so much for
Thank
having me
you.
on.
Yeah, I enjoyed very
Communication.
much. It was great.
And
Thank you very much.
I hope whoever's listening out there, just trust yourself, love yourself, and then love the ones you're with, and
Yay.
that's it. Yay.
Yay.
Okay.